McAllen Police Chief Victor Rodriguez joining us on 710 KQRV. Happy New Year, Vic. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you, sir.
You've
Thank
been
you.
in the news the past 24 hours or so as a result of this data breach at Target and these couple of individuals arrested coming in from Monterrey with these bogus credit cards with stolen numbers. Now, Tim saw a write-up a few minutes ago from the Associated Press, some guy on the inside that said that, what, Tim?
A federal official is saying that from his standpoint, at this point, he's seeing no connection between these arrests and the wider Target security breach.
So
but
what,
he has not been identified, and he's speaking on condition of anonymity.
talking
at this
to
point.
the AP. Well, but whether it is or not, what you know, Chief, is that these are stolen credit card numbers, and they do belong to some people in South Texas, and they were being trafficked by people coming in from Monterrey to buy stuff again, right?
Yes, sir. And just to clear up, I mean, there's the the confusion is we're not saying that these folks are the people that did or effectively performed the data breach. That's not, and I think that's where the confusion is. And I was talking to somebody at the Associated Press that was cleared up for him. And what we're saying is that the account numbers that are being used here are were all part of that body of data that was stolen in that data breach.
So it's in the black market. It's being sopped
Right.
up and it's being sold, and now that they're starting to use that data. Are we the first market that exposes this? I don't recall anyone else reporting it.
I don't know. I don't know of any other cases. But the numbers that were used last week, all of the accounts that were used last week were all part of the body of data that was breached back in late November and December in what we now call the Target data breach. We also have, as you know, when they were arrested on Sunday morning, they had another 96 or so cards on them. Well, based upon their statements, we know that those are also fraudulent. We've not run those accounts, but we think it's probably the same body of data that they were operating with the first time around.
Were you looking
And
for these individuals, sir? Did they come shopping here at one time, and then we knew exactly who to look for the second time around?
Oh, yes, sir. Just to give you some background on this, we started getting reports of the activity last week, and basically a week ago Sunday, that is 1/12 of 2014, they came into town and basically accumulated about let's just say tens of thousands of purchases on fraudulent accounts.
Wow.
So last week we started seeing that activity. Then once we got that information, and once we got with Secret Service and we established the fact that all these accounts happened to be tied to the breach of data that occurred back in late part of last year, then we were concerned. So we developed the investigation further. We were able to with the help of video evidence around the city, we were able to identify the vehicle they were in, and then with ICE and Department of Homeland Security and Custom and Border Patrol agents, we were able to identify the vehicle crossing and therefore the occupants, and then we tied it all up together. We know who the people were. So we put a plan in place for this weekend, and sure enough, this weekend on Sunday, they were coming back into town with another 90 some odd cards.
Wow.
Again, making another run. So they were using Sundays basically to make a run at businesses. I believe that they believe that Sunday are off days, and that's their best opportunity.
Which businesses are mostly targeted? Was it the mall or was it everywhere?
The big box stores. The last week we saw the activity we're talking about here at your Best Buy, Toys R Us, the WalMarts.
Wow.
They hit all these places in one day.
Joining us on 710 KURV, McAllen Police Chief Victor Rodriguez.
Yeah, Chief Tim Sullivan here.
Yes,
so
sir.
you were ready
Yes,
for
sir.
these folks when they crossed the Angel Lewis.
We'd worked over the weekend. We were concerned, given the fact that we knew the accounts they used last week were all part of that big data breach. So we were concerned that if they have that, then they've got hundreds of others, if not thousands of other account numbers. So we were concerned over that. We alerted ourselves and other agencies to work with us, and we basically were hoping to catch them coming back into the city. And sure enough, on Sunday morning at about 7 o'clock in the morning, they were crossing back into the United States. And at that point in time, with the help of ICE agents and Customs, they detained them for us, and and place them in custody, and that's where we're at today.
Do you know about how many folks in the Valley are now having to contact their credit card companies to convince them that they didn't make the charges that are showing up on their bills?
Well, I think Target has put out their positions on these, and basically anybody that transacted any kind of business with them the latter part of November and early part of December would be well advised to go to their institutions and either replace the cards or change their identification information, whatever is appropriate for their account. So, that's been ongoing for weeks on now. So, that would be our suggestion, is to heed the Target advice.
Is Monterey a focal point in the wider investigation into the larger Target security breach, do you think?
I'm sorry, run that by me again.
Is Monterey a focal point in this investigation into the wider Target security breach?
No, I think if you look at certainly Monterey has been a source of fraudulent activity for us in other occasions. So certainly it's a concern for us at this regional level, I would say. But I think you would also agree that the Target matter has focused on a Ukrainian connection and all those kinds of
Really?
information. Yes, sir. So I will tell you this, that in the course of looking at these two individuals, we have found a nexus between them and an overseas connection that would be consistent with that. So,
So do you think this is
despite what this federal official is saying, this anonymous, unidentified federal official, there appears to be at least an indirect connection between the folks that you arrested and the Target breach.
Well, the distinction that needs to be clear here is that someone or some persons caused the breach. We don't know who they are. They apparently have some idea, some leads, and I think from a national standpoint, they pointed to the Ukraine or some person over there. They think it points that way. I mean, I think I've read reports on that. All of us have probably seen that across the water.
But what is obvious is that the data is on the black market. It's already being sopped up and used by criminal elements in Mexico. Now, is this a separate criminal element in Monterrey, or like all other nefarious activities, human smuggling, sex trafficking, illicit drug activity and smuggling, can this be pinned back to the cartels somehow?
Well, certainly we believe that there's a body of individuals in Monterrey that traffic in this business, and they're of concern to us. So, again, the distinction is these folks are not, in our view, the persons that sat behind a computer somewhere and breached Target. These folks, based upon what we know right now, are acquiring information from someone that breached the Target data banks.
And those were Valley numbers, right, Chief? Some of them were Valley numbers?
The numbers that of the accounts that were used last week were all what we would say South Texas region area accounts.
Okay, all right, Chief. Thank you much. Okay. That's a lot of information. We got to go. McAllen Police Chief Victor Rodriguez joining us on 710 KURV. Best we can say, check your accounts, check your credit cards, check your debit cards, check your account. That's all we can say.